I am so excited to be back with you guys and to be recording new podcast episodes. I really missed chatting and sharing my thoughts, ideas, having inspiring guests. So I'm really looking forward to this new season of releasing daily episodes. And I wanted to thank you for tuning in, for listening to this episode. And I hope that it will give you a lot of value. And I was actually thinking about this first episode a lot, and I was thinking, what is something that I can share in this episode, whether it's a story or a lesson that would change your life forever. Even if you just listened to this one episode, it would be that impactful. And of course, this is not an easy task, as you can imagine, to think about a story like that or a lesson like that. And then I started thinking back on my life, if something has been that impactful for me. And it all boiled down back to the moment in, I think it was 2019, where I just finished university and I was applying for different jobs. And I always thought of myself as someone who is quite confident, capable, and can figure things out on the go. But that period has been one of the hardest ones in my life, just because you face, whenever you apply for a job as a graduate, probably a lot of people face this, have a similar experience, but you start facing a lot of rejection. And then in the beginning, you feel confident because you know that you can figure things out, you faced challenges before. But even to the most confident people, whenever you start getting constant rejections, it starts getting to you. You start doubting yourself. You start having these thoughts like, am I asking for too much? Am I even realistic? Would it even be possible? Who am I to think that I can actually achieve that or do that? And those thoughts start creeping in, which is absolutely crazy. So that was just was looking for jobs, and I was being rejected from so many of them. And then I had this one last job that I put all my hopes in, and I was so certain that I'm gonna get it. And then I still remember that moment when I just look at my phone and I received an email from the company. I open it, hold my breath, and they say, the position no longer exists. And I just remember my heart sank. I was like, what do I do now? What do I do with my life? And all of those bigger questions and doubts popped in my mind. And I don't know what was it exactly that led me to the bookstore, but something led me to the bookstore at that moment. And I thought, let me just go search for some answers in the bookstore. And I happened to find a book from Tony Robbins, and I picked it up. I took it home, and that book just changed my life forever. And from that book, I've learned so much more than I would have learned from the job or from any life experience whatsoever, just because it was so empowering and it covered all the fundamentals that I needed to learn. So as you can see already, now from every dark moment there is some light coming out of it, or someone leading you to the lighter side. And I'm so grateful for Tony Robbins for putting this book together and for helping so many people worldwide to actually leading them to this lighter path. So then I asked myself, why was this book so life-changing, so impactful, and why did it change my life forever? And there was the quote in the book that I've read from Tony Robbins that said, "Nothing in life has any meaning except for the meaning that we assign to it." Let me say it again. Nothing in life has any meaning except for the meaning that we assign to it. And then I was like, wait a second, what does it even mean? How nothing in life has any meaning? Because obviously some events are bad and some events are good. And the event of being rejected from a job application or a job is bad and being accepted is good. How could it be that it's just nothing in life has any meaning, only the meaning that we assign to it? It was a thought that just got me thinking. And then it went further on, and it said that we're not defined by the events or by anything that has happened in our life, but by the meaning that we have assigned to those events. So then I started taking a look at that sentence and thinking, okay, if that were to be true, what kind of meaning can I assign to this past events that have been happening in my life, that have been making me feel so sad and making me feel less confident and making me feel doubt myself? What meaning am I currently assigning to that situation, and what meaning can I assign to that situation to make it even better, to make it better? And then I thought, maybe if I assign the meaning of it that the universe is actually guiding me to the job that would be the best for me, maybe if I assign it the meaning that I'm the persistent one, and no matter how many people would say no, I will still keep trying and keep going, instead of assigning the meaning of I'm not good enough, or this will never work, or any other negative connotation that, or those negative thoughts and doubts that were coming up in my mind. And that was fascinating, because then I started viewing the world through the lens of the meanings that I personally assign to the events. And then I felt so empowered, because I realized how much power I truly have, and that no one can choose the meaning that they assign to something that has happened in my life. It's only me who does that. And then Tony Robbins also went further and broke down how we assign meanings to different events in life. And he mentioned that we have opinions, we have beliefs, and we have convictions. And basically opinions are things that we just think, but we can be easily convinced otherwise. And then beliefs, they're formed through the experiences, through the life experiences that happened quite a lot, and we assign them a certain meaning, and we really, really believe that is exactly the way the world is, or the world works. And very generalized beliefs become things like we say, life is, and some people would finish the sentence, life is an adventure, life is suffering, life is a game. And it's a generalized belief that you have had and you've accumulated because of all the different experiences that you've had, and you're quite certain about it. And the last one, which is the hardest level of certainty, is conviction. And conviction basically is you're so certain that this is just the way the world works, that you don't even question it, you don't even doubt it, you're just certain. And you don't even think that it's the way you think, you're just so sure that that's just how the world works. So then, when I realized that not only I'm defined by the meaning that I assign to the events that has happened in my life, but also that I have all of these opinions, beliefs, and convictions that I've acquired, most of them subconsciously without even realizing it, that are defining how I'm feeling and experiencing life. So then I went on doing these exercises to actually see what are some of the opinions that I've formed, what are some of my beliefs, what are some of my convictions. And convictions are the hardest to spot because we just take them as truth. But once you have this realization that all of us have all of these opinions, beliefs, convictions that we have acquired subconsciously without even realizing them, you start looking for them in the conversations. For example, you say, oh, but I'm like this, or oh, but I would never do this. And you start thinking, why did I say this? What kind of belief or conviction or opinion I have built that I'm saying this? And then once you spot one, that sometimes they're very hard to spot, but sometimes you can spot one, and you can ask yourself, is it actually empowering or disempowering me? And then you do the work of actually keeping the ones that are empowering you and replacing the ones that are disempowering you. And that whole process of realizing these components that actually define the way I experience life, realizing how much power I hold behind assigning the meaning to the events that happen in my life, just changed my life forever. And I wanted to share this story with you, and I wanted to share this experience with you because I feel like once you realize this, once you have this foundation, it can truly change your life. Once you start actually paying attention to your opinions, to your beliefs, to your convictions, and choosing the ones that will actually make your life better, your life becomes better. Once you realize how much power you truly hold in assigning the meaning to any event that happens in your life, you become free. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and let me know if you did, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow.